Okay, so my maiden flight of my BF109 conversion didn't go to plan yesterday. These are the bits, this is what it looks like. Battery cover is alright actually, it survived. Prop completely broken, but again I can glue that. This is off here where the battery would sit on it. But you can see this is where the main damage is. It's a bit loose there, but I reckon I can probably fix that. And then just a few spars, probably straighten these up as well, replace them, cover them. Interestingly, the wing material split there, oh, that'll be why. It's all moving, so if I turn it over, yeah, it's disconnected there and on that side. So again, I can probably glue that back in place, but I'm going to have to remove the covering so that I can get to it. Same here, and then see what damage is underneath. So I shall remove the covering and we'll get back to it. Before I do that though, what I want to make sure is, I noticed that it pitched over to the left, whether I'd actually got the AS3X set up incorrectly, which I'd had on my Spitfire but managed to recover it. I didn't do it this time, or whether indeed it was just the torque of the prop spinning so fast because I gave it too much throttle on launch that it just twisted the airplane. Only way to find out is to reconnect it and have a look. Okay, it's all connected up again, so if I turn left, sorry, that works. Do the ailerons, bank left, down and up, bank right, up and down, elevator, nose up and nose down. So that's all working right, and if you listen, the props are as well still, so that's good. So the question is the AS3X, it's not armed yet, so arm it.
Flight mode 2.
So that is.
Flight mode 3.
So when I roll to the left, what happens? That's correct. So it was rolling to the left, the AS3X was trying to counter it. Roll to the right. So the good thing for me is it wasn't my setup that was incorrect. It would just be the torque. Everything's moving in the right way. Okay, good. So I'm going to see if I can rebuild it. Okay, I've confirmed that it wasn't the settings of the receiver that caused it to crash, so I'm happy that actually it could just be that I over torqued it. So I've stripped back the paper so I can see what is broken. So here you can see the bleeding, or the front spar's broken, attached here. Also inside it's a bit of a mess, but I reckon with a decent bit of CA I'll be able to fix that. I'll rebuild it up, and then before I paint it I'll cover it a bit, give it a test flight. And what I'm thinking, I might try and fit a 3-bladed prop, because those two that I flew yesterday seem to be a lot smoother and less torquey. So we'll see, but I'll see if I can rebuild this fuselage or nose section first and get it all glued, and then we'll go from there. So after half an hour of fiddling around, stripped out the paper, glued the bits in, re-glued the spar, everything's good, no wobble now. I may need to do a little bit of reinforcing, but when I give it a good shake, there's no rattles, no untoward movement, but I will have to, I'm sure, reinforce some of these bits that are pretty smashed up. But yeah, we're making progress. I just need to work out whether to cut new bits or try and stick those in, and then I'll move on to preparing the nose parts. We shall see. So the build is going well, getting it all back together slowly as best I can. All seems nice and rigid, nothing moving. Fixed the firewall, but using a 3-bladed prop this time. And when I do the test flight, I'm not going to bother painting it or putting a coward on. I'll just make sure she flies first, and if she does, then I'll make it look pretty. So yeah, I'm going to connect that now using gluing the firewall motor back on using epoxy, 5-minute epoxy. If that'll give it a nicely good fix. But you can see that I've managed to repair most of the broken bits. Obviously I'll tidy up all the covering once this is dried, and I'll run it, make sure it's all secure. Okay, putting it back together is actually going not too badly. It's a little bit scruffy at the moment, but all the bits are going in. I've threaded the motor through, stuck that on using epoxy, and also this time I've fitted the 3-bladed prop like I have on SPD3 and the 0, although this is the counterclockwise prop, so I have turned the wires around on the motor. So I'm going to strengthen the bits that are broken, put in extra spars across just to give it a little bit of extra strength, rebuild the cockpit area with the bit that I have stuck together there. I've repaired the actual cowling with super glue and tape, so put all that back together, see what it looks like. But actually I prefer it with the 3-bladed prop. Spinner's not the neatest. I've cut it down so that it goes on, but it just looks a little bit better having that cone there, and we'll see how the rest goes. Getting there with the rebuild of the cowling and the nose and all the other bits. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, getting it to fit, fixing it back so it is taking shape, and hopefully it will all go together better when I spend a little bit more time. Okay, the rebuild of the ME109 is progressing better than I expected. 3-bladed prop looks a lot better. As you can see, I've actually cut the back end of the spinner off so that it fits. I haven't actually attached this yet, but I will do. I've got some patching up to do along the edges and on the wing, top and bottom, along the edges there, and then glue the canopy back on. But I think it'll look all right. I'm not going to bother painting the patches until I know she flies, and then I'll give it a proper coat once it's all done. Obviously I need to stick the exhaust on there as well, but not looking too bad, and the actual battery hatch is more snug fit this time as well, so progress. Okay, so all the repairs have been done. Spinner's cut down so I can fit the 3-blade prop on, which to be honest I think looks a lot better. You'll notice it's contra-rotating, not the normal. Refitted the cowl on, bit of tape at the minute. You see the areas where I've put the new tissue on the wing. Not the smartest, but it'll do for now. Haven't glued the canopy on yet. I'm going to dope up the material, get it all nice and dry and firm. Spray some varnish on it, and then we will go for another maiden flight hopefully. And hopefully this time I'll get the launch right, the power right, the throttle right, and everything will go well. Fingers crossed. But anyway, she's looking a lot better than she was only a day ago. Having had a possibly tail heavy airplane, I've also added 15 grams of lead weights to the nose as well. Hopefully that'll make a difference, but it all seems to have a slightly better nose forward tilt.